girlfriend, F19, is upset with Christmas gifts AI, M19 got her. Am I missing something? My girlfriend 19F and I 19M are both in college. We have been dating for 2 years. I work Spark and DoorDash on the side, and I'm completely on my own paying for college, food, gas, everything. Money is tight, but I still try really hard to show up for her. I saved to buy her a $170 perfume she's been talking about forever. It's something she's wanted for ages. I also got her 2 phone cases she really liked because her old one was dinged up and discolored. She has really bad anxiety, and she's mentioned those TikTok shop herbal vapor diffuser things every time it comes on her FYP. So I grabbed one of those too as a little extra. At first, she liked the perfume and phone cases. But when she opened the last gift, the diffuser, her mood completely changed. She got sad/upset and said it made her feel like I only bought the perfume to fill the budget we talked about. She said she feels unheard and that I took the easier route instead of getting her other things. That really hurt because I've been saving specifically for that perfume for a long time, not as filler. I genuinely thought I was being thoughtful, especially considering my financial situation. She keeps mentioning how she's jealous because the gifts she got me are cooler and more thoughtful. We have been going through it recently, and she says I am depressing her and ruining yet another holiday. She barely ever likes my gifts I genuinely put thought into. Now I'm stuck feeling confused and honestly kind of crushed. I don't know if I messed up, if I misunderstood what she wanted, or if this is something deeper than the gifts themselves. I'm not trying to be defensive, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do differently here. Advice? Update. I've talked to her more about it, and she's standing on that she is hurt that she thinks I just got one big thing, the perfume, as a way to cop out on buying multiple small things she wanted. I hoped one bigger item would actually make her happier, but I just made this post to make sure I'm right, and we did get each other equally good and thoughtful gifts. She just has told me multiple times I'm a bad boyfriend, and that I try to be nonchalant on purpose because I'm not externally emotional like her. It's just how I act emotionally, and how I always have, and don't see why it's an issue. Everyone is emotionally different. What did she get you? I would really like to compare against her cooler and more thoughtful gifts. Also, I'm surprised you spent so much money. You are a teenager in college, for goodness sake. Edit. I want to make clear I think your gifts were very thoughtful. And you spent a lot more money than I would have expected. And I'm not sure why she is being so ungrateful. So she prefers quantity over quality? I am 40F and I'm annoyed for you. Editing to add, you posted 2 days ago she's trying to control what friends you see. Ditch her. It sounds like she got 4 presents from 19 years old, who is on his own. Dump her ass. 55 years old mom and 20 years old daughter agreeing on this. She's being kind of an ungrateful jerk. Your gifts sound great. What gifts did she get you that are so much better? I would have taken the perfume right back to the store. My fiancé, 26F, told me, 25M, she doesn't want to vaccinate her children. My fiancé and I are freshly engaged, less than a month, and have been dating for just over 4 years before the engagement. For context, I've known her to be spiritual and woo-woo with minor things in the past, herbal remedies and diet trend type stuff. And her immediate family has a few loud and proud anti-vaxxers, but we've somehow never had this conversation. Anyway, we were discussing the possibility of kids within the next couple years, or so, and hypotheticals started to get thrown around. Well, when vaccines came up the air went cold. I told her that I absolutely wanted my kids up to date on all shots, including ones given at birth. And then things exploded between us. Her entire demeanor shifted, and it almost seemed like she'd never considered the idea of infant vaccines. I'll spare the details of the day's long argument which followed. Just know it's been hellish to speak on the topic. As of right now, she's standing firm that what she prefers is for vaccinations to start at age 1-2, and that about 30–50% of them aren't necessary. That she's distrustful of the effectiveness and safety of most vaccines and doctors as a whole because they're only concerned with making a profit. She claims we would be putting our kids at risk by giving them shots so young and asks, why would we? When her breast milk and antibodies are just as effective. We've talked all of this to exhaustion, but can't get anywhere. I offered that we speak to a pediatrician so her concerns can be addressed by someone with expertise. But she said she didn't want to because she already knows what they're going to say. BRUH. So far, the best compromise we've conjured up is each perform independent research on every vaccine and then decide which we feel are truly necessary at each stage. But to be honest, I'm unsure if that's good enough for me. How can I trust that her feelings on this won't intensify? If I didn't know this until now, what the hell else don't I know? I'm stressed out. I really love her, but this feels like something neither of us can come to a consensus on. I want to marry this woman. How can we avoid blowing up the relationship while ensuring the safety of our future kids? Too long did not read. My fiancé is anti-vax and I can't cope. This is not a compromise situation. You have very different ideas of parenting, which makes you incompatible. You break off the engagement, obviously. Sorry it took you so long to find out, but at least you're not legally tied together yet. Retired pediatrician here. I've personally seen toddlers and infants cough, turn blue, and have seizures from pertussis, whooping cough. I've personally seen kids have lifelong disability from HIV meningitis, deaf, DD, when they were normal previously. I've seen one child and one mother die from chickenpox. I can go on, but the bottom line is that you two are philosophically unsuited to each other. What would you do if one of your children became seriously ill from a vaccine-preventable disease? Blame her, or yourself. It's difficult enough to be a good parent when all the stars align, but with this huge issue, I think you are setting up the marriage for failure. Run, run, run. You have to have kids with someone whose values align with yours. To be so anti-science will absolutely damage your future kids. Also, as someone who is a trained researcher in real life, I get so frustrated at people who talk about doing their own independent research. What they mean by that is finding articles that align with how they're already thinking. Research is not just reading. Ugh. Independent research? So you're going to contract a lab to do research? Because just Google searching information about the vax isn't research. I'm sorry, but this sounds like it's not going to work out. This is breakup territory. It will be way less painful and expensive than once kids are involved. Do not put kids in the middle of a war that is clearly coming. And prepare for a nasty custody battle or having to bow to a woman who clearly has injected herself with too many horse tranquilizer conspiracy theories. My 25F boyfriend, 24M, doesn't want to be with someone as ambitious as myself. I've wanted to be a veterinarian since I was a young girl. As I got older, I gave up on those dreams, but when I turned 23, I decided to give it a go. I went back to school and have since achieved an associate's degree with a 4.0 GPA and have plans to transfer to a university, then go to vet school. Long story short, my dreams don't seem so unattainable anymore. The problem lies with my relationship. With the way things are going, I won't be done with school until I'm 31. I've always wanted to get married and have kids before that age, but since I decided to go back to school, I've reconsidered when would be a good age to have kids. My boyfriend wants to get married and start having kids this year. Although I would love to start a family, I'm so torn. Me starting a family with him would require me moving states back to my hometown and taking time off from school. Not only that, my boyfriend told me he wants to be with a woman who wants to be a stay-at-home wife. This is a text that he sent me. I do not desire to be with a woman who is as ambitious as yourself. It's great for you that you have goals, but I want a big family and a traditional relationship. If I don't decide to change my plans, he and I are going to move on. I also want a big family, and I have no problem with prioritizing my future family when the time comes. However, I just can't reconcile with the fact that he's asking me to give up the dreams I've had since I was a little girl. I love him so much and I can't imagine my life without him. And so I have been questioning if I'm making the right choice by staying on this path to being a vet. I know it sounds stupid since I'm only 25, but I've been feeling like if I don't do this now, I might not find someone to marry and start a family with. This conversation with my boyfriend is making me question if men just don't want to marry a woman who puts their career first for a while. Maybe I shouldn't think like that, but it's hard not to. On the other hand, I feel like my boyfriend is asking me to give up my dreams so that he can live out his own. So I guess I just need advice. What are your thoughts on changing my plans to pursue my dreams in order to make my boyfriend happy? Is it worth it? Would I be making a mistake if I let this relationship with someone that I love go? Too long did not read. I want to be a vet. My boyfriend wants me to be a stay-at-home mom in the future. I can't stop questioning if I'm making the right decision. Do not settle for some life for this dude. Pursue your dreams, get your education, and build a stable financial foundation for yourself and future family. Is your boyfriend extremely financially successful and responsible? I highly doubt it. Sounds like he's jealous of your potential and wants to keep you from surpassing him in earning potential/career status. If he won't support your dream, he's not the man for you. Do not stay with this childish man. That would be clutch to run a homestead farm with big old family vibes. He's just being reductive and mean. He doesn't like you move on in glory and live your best life. Don't give up your ambitions for a man. You are not compatible. He is telling you he doesn't want you to have a career or life outside of being his broodmare and maid. He will leave you in 10 years because you aren't fun or yourself anymore. This is a trap, and you will regret giving up your life for this turd. If you were okay with what he was saying, you wouldn't be on Reddit. Don't give up your dreams. It sounds like you're not compatible, and that's okay. The person you're meant to be with would build you up and support you, not demand you be a som when you don't want a VE. It's crummy of him to date someone who wants to be anything other than a som and expect her to give up that goal for him. Outside of any practicality considerations that would come up at the time of having kids, this is about his ego. Find someone who's less small and petty and who actually supports you. Please don't abandon your goals because he gave you an ultimatum. I had the first of my 3 children at age 40. There's no rush. How can I, 25F, ask my friend 30M to be intimate without damaging our friendship? Apologies for the long post. Some context. My friend and I have known each other for 5 or 6 years, and we have always been really close. He was with his girlfriend at the time I met him. I was never super interested in him as anything other than a friend before since he was taken, and I'm not trying to get a crush on a taken man. But after he became single, our mutual friends started saying to me how they think we would be cute together, how they thought he liked me when they first met him because of the way he looked at me and were surprised he had a GF, etc. I started paying attention to him in that aspect more, and I started to crush on him. We would literally talk every single day. All the time. About everything. Even when I had moved to a different state, we stayed in constant touch. I knew he wasn't ready for a relationship, so I didn't confess or anything. But I definitely was falling for him, and I felt like he liked me too. He literally door-dashed me food at 4 a.m. from a different state because I made an off-handed remark about being hungry during one of our 4-hour-long phone calls. At one point, we were talking about how we were both single and hadn't had sex in a long while, and were both pent up. After a while, he offered a proposal. The next time I was in town, we could hook up. No strings attached, just sex, and we'd stay friends afterwards. We even established ground rules, what we both like/dislike in sex, all that good stuff. As a bit of added context, we took one of those tests where we learned what our kinks were and how much of each kink we have and how compatible we'd be with others who have taken the quiz. We took it for shits and giggles and looked to see how compatible we'd be. It was over 90%. The more we talked about hooking up, however, the more I was unsure. I liked him, and I hadn't gotten confirmation that he liked me, even if signs were there. I wasn't sure if I would be able to sleep with him and keep my personal feelings and the physical desire separate. His friendship was more important to me. So in the end, we didn't hook up. A while later, I got the courage to tell him I liked him. We talked, or technically texted, but whatever, and that he was flattered, that he wasn't in a place to date, and that he liked me a little as a friend. I took this as a rejection and understood. We stayed friends, despite his confusing actions towards me, and I haven't mentioned liking him ever since. It's been almost a year. Now, I'm visiting home for the holidays. I don't think I like him anymore, but as a single woman with desires, I'm pent up. He is also single. I trust him enough to have sex with him without it leading to anything bad, but I don't know how to broach the topic with him, if I even should at all. I'm worried it would damage our relationship/friendship if I bring it up. So Reddit, how can I ask my friend about having sex without it ruining our friendship/relationship? If I should at all. Girl best friend final boss. This literally reads like a fanfic written by an edgy teen face with tears of joy. At this point, I think your feelings are far beyond the point of no return for only sex relationship. In consequence, you may pass and try to keep your eyes on other side. You need sex, for sure, but you will be sad at the end of this history. Try with someone else. Maybe be direct. I am looking for a hookup. Does your offer still stand? Be clear about your intentions. If you are looking for sex only and not looking to explore a romantic relationship, be honest about it. Even then I wouldn't ask unless you know you are over him. Otherwise that could cause more confusion in your friendship. You aren't just friends if you hook up. If you genuinely don't want to damage the friendship, don't do it LOL. Hey, remember that proposal from a while back? I've made up my mind and I'm in.